What is good, Halftime Josh Squad? It's your boy Halftime Josh here. Today we will be weighing in on the AJ Lapray and Chris Staples versus CRSWHT beef. Today we'll be telling the actual truth, not no half truth. Because people always say there's two sides to every story. That's actually incorrect. There's three sides to every story, even though I know what people mean when they say two sides. But in reality, there's three sides to every story. You have this person's truth, that person's truth, and the actual truth. Today, we'll be looking at both perspectives, and then we'll be determining what should have happened. Both sides already apologized, but I still see a lot of fans talking about it, which is why I'm making this video. It's not because of the creators. They already apologized, thankfully. Put that stuff behind them. But the fans keep bringing it up, talking about who's wrong. So I'm going to just go ahead and squash all that for them. I'm gonna give you guys, like I said, the actual truth. First, I'm going to get into CRSWHT's perspective, and then I'm gonna get into AJ Lapray's and Chris Staples' perspective. Now, actually, I'm gonna do it vice versa. I'm gonna give AJ Lapray's and Chris Staples' perspective first, and then CRSWHT's perspective, and then I'm gonna get into the actual truth after that. Everything right here, it's just perspective from that person's point of view, and then we're gonna dive into the actual truth. But all right, let's go ahead and get into it. Without further ado, so from Chris Staples and AJ Lapray's perspective, they pulled up to Venice Beach an hour beforehand, doing their own little thing, sitting there chilling, because a lot of people don't know they live in the LA area. Venice Beach is their home court, their home turf. So they just sitting there chilling, and then CRSWHT pulls up, and they sitting there chilling. And CRSWHT comes over and trying to run fives, and ask for his content. But to them, it's like, from their point of view, it's like it's a public park. Why do I need to put my cameras down? We've been doing this for 10 years. We're OGs in the community. Don't even really know who you are. They want to hoop. CRSWHT and his squad wanting to hoop with Hezzy, and they wanting to hoop against them for their content. But asked Chris Staples, AJ Lapray to put the cameras down. They said no, because like I said, they're OGs in the community. They didn't want to put their cameras down. They wanted to keep recording because it's a public park, and they have that right. And also, it's their home turf. From their perspective, CRSWHT is, just getting mad, being a hothead, and that's pretty much their side of the story. Then also, which led to the slap later because a bunch of trash talk. And then Chris sets what's a quote-unquote screen on AJ Lapray, causing AJ Lapray to almost fall. He grabs because he doesn't want to fall. Grabs onto his shirt and accidentally rips it. And then Chris walks over and slaps him. And then, chaos erupted. And here we are now. So that's pretty much their whole perspective. They pull up, some new guy in the scene tries to tell them to put down their cameras. They can't record on their own turf, and the new guy isn't even from their turf. While they're OGs, they kind of felt like that was disrespect because it's their home court. So that's their perspective. Now I'm about to get into CRSWHT's perspective. CRSWHT's perspective on this whole thing. Imagine you pull up, set up a whole park takeover. You got Hezzy coming out there to play with you and a little squad that you gathered together for the Venice Beach takeover. You get out there and you see two bigger YouTubers than you sitting there with their cameras rolling, and you do not, from a business perspective, you do not want the same video out in multiple avenues, because it'll get all congested and stuff. The views will get all congested and go to different sources instead of to you. So you politely ask them to put down their cameras, and they tell you, no, they're OGs, they don't gotta listen to you, basically. So it's you kind of get a little bit offended at that. And then the game was a little heated. You're gonna be a little heated throughout the game, talk some trash to them, and try to run them off the court. and then one thing leads to another, and then a guy rips your shirt. This is Chris White's whole perspective on this whole thing. Basically, people trying to steal his content, basically. But now we're going to get into the actual truth. Now, from both sides, I do not know why both sides was acting like they do not know each other. I know for dang sure that AJ Lapray and Chris Staples both know who Chris White is. And I also know for dang sure Chris White knows who Chris Staples and AJ Lapray both are. Also, another thing, I do not know why AJ Lapray and Chris Staples did do this one shady thing, and that's in their videos when they show their POV. They show Chris White asking for fives, just asking for fives. But in Chris White's video, he shows the whole part where he's actually over there asking fives for his content. So they cut that. AJ Lapray and Chris Staples cut that part out, which was kind of shady. Also, the whole screen on AJ Lapray was an illegal screen. That wasn't even a screen. That was basically a halfway a tackle. Every basketball player knows it's not no real screen, street ball or not. I set some hard screens before, never like that. But I called some people to fall before from screens, but I definitely didn't set them like that. I set like a Steven Adams type of screen. If y'all know who that is, go look it up. That's the strongest man in the NBA right now, undisputed. But yeah, Chris White basically halfway tackles AJ Lapray. AJ Lapray grabs on, and to avoid falling, and then get slapped in the face for it, for accidentally ripping a man's shirt. Chris White is, he's been a hothead and a bully in this whole situation. You hit AJ Lapray, but guy who we know does not like to fight. Why would you hit a guy that you know does not like to fight? It's kind of redundant and stupid if you ask me. Also, and kind of cowardly, but also Chris White, like I said, he's a hothead and sometimes a bully. If he was thinking straight, you're the poppin' YouTuber out on the scene in park basketball, park takeovers. And I watch all three creators. I'm not taking no sides here. Like I said, I'm giving you guys all the truth. I'm putting it all out there. Chris White is getting way more views than AJ Lapray and Chris Staples combined. So he didn't even have to get heated at the whole situation. That's what I was wondering. I'm starting something new called Foresight 2020. Forget Hindsight 2020. Some decisions are just common sense, and you can see ahead of time and not just after the fact. So this is a Foresight 2020 moment here. You get way more views than both of these guys combined. It's not even about, when it comes to YouTube, it's about views and subscribers. I think I heard some people say views is number one. So if that's true, Chris White had nothing to worry about. Both of these guys combined for like 1.3 million, AJ Lapray and Chris Staples, but Chris White, who only 400,000 subscribers, I believe he has right now at the time, drops off both of their views. He has more views than both of them combined, so he didn't even need to get that heated. I could see how he felt a little disrespected, and I could see how AJ Lapray and Chris Staples both felt disrespected. I could see how everybody felt disrespected in this entire ordeal. Chris Staples and AJ Lapray. Well, I said Chris Staples. Oh yeah, no, I said it right. For some reason I thought I said it wrong. Excuse me. But yeah, they could have responded a little nicer. I mean, they put it blunt, which is fine. But, from Chris White's POV, I could see how you get heated. And I'm talking about, at the X politely, they said, no, we've been doing this for 10 years. That does kind of sound like a little snobbish, low key. But, yeah, like I said, this whole situation should have been avoided. I put this out for the fans that are still talking about the matter. Chris White and them definitely should have not been that mad. They should have just played ball and dropped off AJ Lapray and Chris Staples. That would have made for a way better storyline. And then AJ Lapray and Chris Staples could could have just put the cameras down, or they could have kept rolling, but not fed into like that toxic energy. Because sometimes, you know, you can't fight fire with fire always. If he's getting heated, no, don't respond with more heat. That's just gonna lead to something ugly. But also, it was a little weird. Like I said at the beginning, they cut out in their videos that he said 5s for his content. They just had to, you want to run 5s. So it is a little weird. I expect better from all parties involved in this. So let's not let something like this happen again. Now, to set things straight, you do have the right to pull up to a public area. Now, Chris White had this as a whole private event. Like, he rented out a gym or something like that. And then they pulled up. And it was like invitation and stuff. And they pulled up unannounced. Then AJ Lapray and Chris Staples will be the sole villains in this entire ordeal. But that's not the case. It's a public space. They had every right to be out there. And Chris White did have the right to ask too. Can you ask politely, which he did, to put the cameras down, which they didn't. Like I said, they have the right to keep recording. But this whole situation could have been avoided, like I said before. There's definitely some foresight 2020 moments to this. Both sides definitely knew each other. And AJ Lapray and Chris Staples definitely do know who Chris White is. And Chris White definitely knows who they are. And I know AJ Lapray and Chris Staples did have to know that Chris White would be out there. Because I hear some people saying that them two actually talk trash on Insta, I think, before the event, Chris Staples and Chris White. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just going off of word of mouth on that one. So like I said, they definitely had to know they would be there. It's not no coincidence. So I don't know. It's definitely a little shady on their part. But Chris White just handled this whole thing poorly. He got to stop being a hothead and a bully. But you got to stop with all that and do better. Both sides do better. But that's all we have for today, man. I hope you guys like the content that I'm about to be putting out. It's going to be fire. I got some announcements I'm going to make in the future. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay blessed. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on this whole situation. And also, let me know who you guys are going to think is going to win between Ballers Life West Coast Squad and Trouble Team. I'm going to drop a video on that. But anyways, stay safe, stay blessed. I'll catch you guys next time.